Hey everybody, Adam Savage here with Exponential Africa. You know, one of the things I love about building is the problem-solving aspect. Taking something from an idea to a tangible thing means overcoming a whole bunch of little problems along the way. But sometimes those problems keep cropping up, and you realize you haven't actually solved the problem, just worked around it. That's where root cause analysis comes in. It's about going beyond the symptoms and finding the underlying cause of a problem so you can fix it once and for all. It's like the old adage, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. In this video, we're going to dive deep into the world of root cause analysis. We'll explore its principles, tools, and techniques so you can become a problem-solving ninja. Let's get started. The first step to solving any problem is admitting you have one. Sounds simple, right? But sometimes the hardest problems to solve are the ones we don't even see. Think about a machine in a factory. It might be making a weird noise, but it's still producing, so everyone just lives with it. But that noise is a symptom, a clue that something is wrong. If you ignore it long enough, the machine could break down completely, costing time and money. Or imagine a process in your office that's always been done a certain way. It's inefficient, but hey, it works, right? But what if there's a better way? What if by digging deeper you could find a solution that saves everyone time and frustration? Recognizing a problem means being observant, paying attention to those little things that seem off. It means being willing to ask questions, even if they seem obvious. And it means being open to the possibility that things could be done differently. Sometimes the most obvious problems are the hardest to see because we're so used to them being there. It's like that old saying, if you put a frog in boiling water, it'll jump out. But if you put it in cold water and slowly heat it up, it'll boil to death. Don't be the frog. Be proactive. Look for the problems, the inefficiencies, the things that just don't feel right. Because once you recognize a problem exists, you can start to do something about it. That's where the real fun begins. Because once you've identified the problem, you can start to define it, to really understand what you're dealing with. And that's what we're going to talk about next. Okay, so you've recognized you have a problem. Now it's time to put it under the microscope to really understand its ins and outs. This is where teamwork comes in handy. Get a diverse group of people together, folks from different departments, different levels of experience. Why? Because everyone brings a unique perspective to the table. The engineer might see the problem as a technical glitch, while the customer service rep sees it as a communication breakdown. Both are valuable insights. Now, don't just stay stuck in a conference room theorizing. Get down on the ground floor. Observe the problem in its natural habitat. Talk to the people directly affected by it. Is it a production line issue? Watch the line in action. Talk to the operators. Is it a software bug? Get the developers and users in a room together. Remember, the devil is in the details. What happens before the problem arises? What are the specific steps involved in the process? What are the environmental factors? Think of it like a detective investigating a crime scene. They don't just look at the body, they examine the surrounding area, look for clues, and talk to witnesses. The goal here is to get a clear, comprehensive picture of the problem. What are its symptoms? How often does it occur? What's the impact? By defining the problem clearly, you're setting the stage for effective analysis and ultimately a lasting solution. All right, we've recognized and defined our problem. Now it's time to put on our detective hats and gather some evidence. This is where data becomes our best friend. But here's the thing, not all data is created equal. You need the right data, the relevant data, to tell you what's really going on. Think of it like building a story. You need the right pieces of information to connect the dots and see the bigger picture. And what kind of data are we talking about? Well, it could be quantitative numbers, figures, measurements, like how long does it take for this process to complete? How many defects are we seeing? Or it could be qualitative observations, opinions, experiences. What are the pain points people are experiencing? What are their thoughts on the current process? Once you've gathered your data, it's time to roll up our sleeves and analyze it. Look for patterns, trends, and correlations. Are there any common factors that pop up when the problem occurs? Are there any outliers that don't fit the pattern? Now, I know what you're thinking. Adam, this sounds complicated, and you know what? It can be, but it doesn't have to be overwhelming. There are tools and techniques to help you make sense of the data We'll talk about those in the next chapter. The important thing is to be thorough, to be objective, and to be open to what the data is telling you, because the data doesn't lie. It's the key to unlocking the root cause of your problem. We've recognized the problem, defined it, and gathered our data. Now comes the really satisfying part, finding the root cause. This is where we separate the symptoms from the disease, the superficial from the systemic. Think of it like an onion. We're peeling back the layers, getting closer and closer to the core of the issue, and just like there's more than one way to peel an onion, there's more than one tool to help us find the root cause. One of my favorites is the 5 whys. It's deceptively simple but incredibly powerful. You just keep asking why until you get to the bottom of things. Why did the machine break down? Because a belt snapped. Why did the belt snap? Because it was worn out. Why was it worn out? Because it wasn't being replaced often enough, and so on. Another great tool is the Fishbone diagram, also known as the Ishikawa diagram or cause and effect diagram. It helps you visually map out all the potential causes of a problem, grouping them into categories like materials, methods, machines, and manpower. Then there's the Pareto chart, which helps you prioritize your problem-solving efforts by identifying the vital few causes that are responsible for the majority of the effects. The key here is to choose the right tool for the job. Sometimes you might use just one tool, sometimes you might use a combination. The important thing is to be systematic, to be thorough, and to be relentless in your pursuit of the root cause. Because once you found it, you can finally start to fix the problem for good. We've reached the summit, folks. We've identified the root cause of our problem. Now it's time to conquer it by implementing a robust solution. This is where we get to be creative, to think outside the box, and to come up with innovative ways to address the root cause. But it's not enough to just come up with a solution. We need to make sure it sticks, that it becomes embedded in the way we do things. That's where control comes in. We need to establish mechanisms to monitor the effectiveness of our solution and to prevent the problem from rearing its ugly head again. Think of it like building a bridge. You wouldn't just build the bridge and walk away, would you? You'd have engineers inspecting it regularly, making sure it's structurally sound. Similarly, we need to establish checks and balances to ensure our solution is working as intended. This might involve training employees on new procedures, implementing new technologies, or even redesigning processes from the ground up. And just like with the bridge, we need to be prepared to make adjustments along the way. No solution is perfect, and there will always be room for improvement. The key is to be vigilant, to be proactive, and to be committed to continuous improvement. Because the goal of root cause analysis isn't just to solve problems, it's to create a culture of problem solving where everyone is empowered to identify and address issues before they become major headaches. So, there you have it, folks. Root cause analysis is a journey, not a destination. It's about constantly seeking to understand and improve the world around us. Remember, every problem, no matter how big or small, is an opportunity for learning and growth. Embrace the challenge and never stop asking why. And most importantly, have fun with it. Because when you approach problem solving with curiosity and a sense of adventure, even the most complex challenges can be incredibly rewarding to solve. Until next time, keep on building, keep on tinkering, and keep on asking why.